has fascinating thoughts. His name is Jun, who is in his early 60s. He is the representative of an agency. Who helps Korean nurses be able to work in Saudi Arabia. About, okay, it's a year ago.
Yeah.
And about a year ago, I used to be also one of the candidates. I used to be just one of the candidates. I was one of the candidates. To go to Saudi Arabia as a nurse. I could say he is the pioneer to export Korean nurses to the Middle East, especially Saudi. Even if no one used to try in the past for several reasons, but he did it for about 5 years. More than 100, okay, just more than 100 Korean nurses, I think. Have been working in that country, and he still makes lots of efforts to send more nurses there. I believe he also contributes lots of works in Korea's economy. He is really good at speaking Arabic and English, so he always insists. Too many students. Okay, insists. Too many students not to feel afraid. Learning new things. Yeah, actually, what I'll do is because it's the phrase afraid about, or it could be afraid about or afraid of. So if it's a phrase, I normally put it in purple just so that you can see that the two words normally go together. With a preposition. Learning new things, and he encourages them to enjoy learning new things like languages, other countries, cultures, and many more. I think that belief is the secret. How he became a successful CEO. Okay, who can manage his own business perfectly. Okay, right. Okay, so looking across that just quickly, I mean, you know, what I do is just scan. The reason I make the changes is it helps me to scan and see where the mistakes are, if there are any. It's actually not bad. I think your who, because I've got the candidates who wanted and the CEO who can manage. So maybe you just need to check up on that. And articles, a and an, and prepositions. So, but it's not bad at all. It's really not bad at all. Okay, when you're writing things like this, does it take you a long time to write it, or can you do it fairly quickly?
It took about half an hour.
Okay, that's not bad. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. And it's very close to what you said as well. So with this particular question, is this one that you've answered before previously?
Yes.
Right. So you already had an idea in your head about what you were going to say.
Yes.
Right. Okay. I mean, that's fine. I mean, because that's the whole purpose of doing these questions, is that you've got some idea of what's coming up, that you know what the topics are, and that you've got something that you can say later on. Right. Okay. Part three. Okay. Um, okay. So I've got some more questions on page 4. I don't want you looking at the questions. I don't want you reading the
Okay.
questions. I want you to just listen to them. Right. Okay. So let's get started on these. So, do you miss being a student?
Mm, no, I don't. I'm quite satisfied with my current job, and now I have a lot of more things that I can do compared to the period that I was a student. So I don't want to go back to the period that when I was a student.
Okay. What was the most interesting thing you did when you were a student?
Uh, mm, well. The one thing that pops up in my mind is just uh, I was able to achieve that uh, I uh, made efforts. What I mean is when I made a lot of efforts and exerted a lot, then that for example, exam score was really good. So that thing was really interesting uh, when I was a student.
Okay. Could you describe your hometown a little?
Okay. My hometown is Busan, which is located in southern part of South Korea. It is the second largest city in South Korea. So every year, many Koreans and even visitors visit our country to enjoy magnificent beach, mountain, and even river. In mm, Among many tourist spots, Haeundae is the one of the most famous spot. So uh, every year, every especially every summer, uh, more than uh, more than 10,000 people visit my hometown to enjoy their summer.
What do you like most about your hometown?
Mm, the best thing I really like about my hometown is absolutely my family. Whenever I visit my hometown, I can meet my parents who always miss me and want to, who always miss me and who always beside on my part. So that is the big advantage for me when I visit my hometown.
And do you like living there?
Mm, yes, when I lived my hometown, I was kind uh enjoyed living there. But when I since I moved to Seoul, which is the capital of the South Korea, I can enjoy more things, especially culture, hobbies, and even work. So now I'm quite satisfied with a new place. With
That's okay. Yep, yep. Okay. Who is your favorite movie star?
mm, My favorite movie star is Chun Do-yeon, who is really into her every character. So whenever she acts on a movie and drama, it hits a lot. So I can say she is like a chameleon, which can be suitable for every character.
Okay. Are international superstars popular in your country?
Yes, I think so. Due to the development of mass media and technologies, many Koreans can enjoy and love many international superstars. So, in a few years ago, when Angelina Jolie visited Korea, so many people were able to see them and can enjoy with her.
Okay, let's move on to another topic. So, do you think mathematics is important?
Yes, I think so. It has been a long time after I graduated school, but still I have been using the mathematics. For example, when I pay some money, when I buy some beverages or groceries. So I think mathematics is always used in my everyday life.
Do you think it is difficult to learn mathematics well?
No, I don't think so. Based on my experience, when I exerted a lot of when I exerted a lot and invested a lot of time, then mathematics was not difficult, was not so that difficult. So I think the stereotype of mathematics is really hard can the uh, stereotype that mathematics is really difficult makes people feel hard and want to avoid that subject.
No, it is. It is definitely hard. Right. Okay. Handwriting. Do you often write with a pen?
No, I don't. I'm I'm I usually using a computer because there are not many chances to write with the pens because even my homework should be submitted with the computer in the forms of electronic documents. So I don't have many chances to use with the pens.
Is your handwriting easy to read for other people?
Yes, I believe so because uh, I haven't had any chances with my handwriting. I haven't had any chances with my handwriting that other people cannot recognizable my handwriting. So I can say my handwriting is easy to understand and uh, understand.
Okay. You said recognizable. It should be recognize.
Recognize.
Recognize. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Okay. Let's move on to part two question. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Right. So I'll give you 1 minute to look at the topic, and your time starts now.
Mm.
Okay, that's your 1 minute of preparation time. So I'd like you to talk about the topic for between 1 and 2 minutes, and your time starts now.
Okay. I'm excited to talk about a certain experience that I was able to get a help or from the internet. It was a couple of months ago, and my laptop, which is the Apple product, was suddenly shut off. And after that, I wasn't able to turn it on again. Uh, uh, Before that experience, I also had the same experience one time. At that time, I had to pay a lot of money to fix it. So I'm afraid I had to pay a lot of money again. So before to bring my computer to technician to fix it, I decided to search for the information how I can fix it or what is the cause for this malfunction. So I searched the information on the internet that what can I do for manage this problem. So uh, I searched the internet, especially on in the neighbor, which is the most famous the famous the most which is the most famous portal site in Korea. So through among many blogs, I was able to find a certain blog which described the method that I can handle this problem. It said that I have to press three functional keys together. So after that, following these instruction, I was able to handle this problem.
Okay,
It
that's your
was
2 minutes. That's your 2 minutes. Right. Okay. So the only thing you didn't get to is how you felt about it. So how did you feel about it when you solved the problem?
uh, at that moment, it took more than an hour to find appropriate information because there were a lot of advertisement and uh, promoting to sell their programs. So even finding a proper information was really tough. I feel thankful to the blogger who wrote the practical information for many netizens. So if I have a chance, so I replied the comment with the blogger to represent my gratitude.
Okay. All right. It's a great story, and you tell it very well. It's a shame you've only got 2 minutes to
uh,
talk about it. So I think maybe I was wondering when I was listening to you. I was watching the clock, of course, and it took you a long time to get to the point where you were actually describing that you were searching the internet. You gave a long introduction
mm,
to about the fact that it was an Apple product so I think the thing to do, one of the things to do with these particular part two, the way they structure the question, is if you can hit most of the bullet points very early on within the first minute or within the first 45 seconds. So
mm,
what the problem was, how you solved it, and how long it took to solve the problem. Those some of those things you can say them very quickly, but then you can go back and give more detail as to how you went
mm,
about it. It's like if you see PowerPoint introductions, when someone does a PowerPoint, they usually say at the beginning, okay, they tell you what the topic is going to be, the first slide. Then they say what they're going to talk about on the next slide. So they might give 3 or 4 bullet points about what they're going to say. And then they go through and give it all in more detail. They go back to point one and they give more detail on point one, point two. So each of the slides that comes after that in PowerPoint gives more detail. So if you can structure it so that you actually answer the questions very quickly and then go back
mm,
and give more detail on it, and that
mm.
way you get to answer all the parts of the question. I think the problem can be that you spend much too long on, not you but other people spend much too long on their introduction giving all the background to the story, but then the time is running down. They've got less and less time to
Oh,
actually because telling the last line is important, that you include the response to the last line. It's an
oh,
important part of part two. So if you skip that, or if you don't reach that point, then it's going to affect your score.
mm, mm,
Okay, but I mean, you tell that there's a lot of detail. That it's the way you describe it is very good. It's just that the time is short.
mm.
So you just got to be aware of the fact that the time is running. So in terms of rehearsing these, how many part twos have you practiced in the past?
Well, I haven't counted yet, but mm, I've practiced several times with this topic.
This particular topic. Ah, right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Um, okay. I mean, it's just timing. I think the only thing I think is getting your timing right. And how much time you allot for introducing the topic, how much time you spend on answering the bullet points. You can still tell all of the story, but you've got to make sure that you answer all the parts within the 2 minutes. So okay, we'll experience more of them, and I'll see whether your introductions, maybe it's something to do with being from Busan. I think you told me the other day that the Busan accent is difficult to understand in Seoul.
Yeah.
Maybe in Busan they always give a very long introduction to every story. I don't know. Maybe it's a characteristic of the area that you come from. Right, okay, let's have a look at the part three questions. What do people do online in their free time?
Mm, well, I can say everything can be done using with the internet nowadays because, for example, people can buy some groceries or even clothes using with the internet, and these days we can have a, bank account without going to the bank directly. So I can say uh, the internet is occupied most of our part in our life.
Okay, apart from shopping or banking, I mean those are sort of quite useful activities. What other less useful activities do people spend their free time on the internet?
Mm, I think many people are getting addicted with the social network services because without intention, they access the those programs, and it can make people waste their spare time a lot because uh, without their realization, they access and browsing the net a lot of time. So I can say it can be one of the waste of their time through
Okay,
their life.
I'll stop you there because one of the later questions is about wasting their time online. So we'll come back to that later on. But just in terms of other activities, but you mentioned social networking. Okay, that's another activity. I mean, I mean, this is really they're looking for more of a list in this question, just a list of different activities without going into too much detail on each of those activities. So you said shopping, banking, social networking. What other things do people do on times? Famously, in your country is very famous for a certain activity online.
Mm. Uh, Using with the internet, most people can uh, people can uh, interact using with the messenger. So we don't need to hang out directly, and we can have a video call and voice call. So it can make people keep a good relationship without meeting in person.
Okay, but I don't think Korea is especially famous for that. Korea is very famous for a certain online activity.
What is it?
Ah, you don't. Well, guess. Just run through your mind. You think what it is. Something that it's like all around the world, people recognise that Koreans do a certain activity very well online.
Having
Gaming, gaming,
a game
gaming.
gaming.
Yeah, so Korea, I mean, because I think that's probably one of the reasons why you have the fastest internet in the world in
Uh,
Korea is because it requires so much bandwidth and power for people to be able to play games on there. So I think people from all over the world, if they don't visit, they know that they can play games in Korea. I mean, I think they have international games, international gaming is sort of
mm,
centered on Korea, and people make a lot of money out of it in Korea. So I'd say gaming is something that people spend their time. As you mentioned before, just browsing the internet, looking for information. I think that's something that people do. Watching movies. A lot of
mm,
people use the internet for watching
watching
movies.
movie.
So there's a lot. So this particular question, it's as I said, it's like a list. You don't want to be explaining each one too much, but just like a list of activities that
Uh,
take place on the internet. Right. Um, what impact does the internet have on schools?
mm, uh, I've read a news from the impacts of the internet for the students because of the internet and smartphone these days. Many students cannot concentrate fully for their class, and it uh, and it distracted a lot of concentration. So it can um, it can affect to their score, but uh, however, I think it also has benefits. Without going to school, using with the internet, we can have an online school, and it makes people, especially students, can have a homeschooling available.
So how can internet help students? What benefit does it bring apart from being doing remote schooling?
Mhm.
Is the beneficial impact of having the internet for education?
Mm, by using the internet, there are many advantages. Among them, uh, the first thing uh, can be uh, can be that many students have a privileged class without wasting their time to go to the institution or their class, because using with the internet they can have a uh, better class using with the video call. And also, um, browse by browsing the net, they can find the word that they don't know really well, and they can find a, good example or a good story that makes that they can understand easily.
Yeah. Okay. So really, I mean, the huge benefit of the internet is that we can do research.
Research.
So we can find we can find the answers to just about any question by searching on the. One of the problems with that is that we don't really know, or it takes a lot of experience to know whether what we're reading is good information or bad information. There's probably 50-50 on the internet. There's a lot of good, useful information, but when you're searching, you don't know whether what you're reading is genuine or not. A lot of it is just garbage. So yeah, so research. I would say the biggest thing is research, including things like techniques for doing things. I think you were close to saying that. Like you were talking about fixing your laptop. But in terms of education, often the teacher will tell you one way to do a certain activity. It might be a mathematical way of working out a mathematical formula, but you might not understand what the teacher's saying. So if you go to the internet, you can look it up, and there may be a second way
Mm,
of doing something which does actually work in your head, whereas the first way doesn't work. So I mean, again, I think that's a great thing with the internet, is that there are so many educational resources available on the internet.
mm.
Also, things like so in the future, do you think that that the internet will replace schools?
Um, maybe or maybe not, because as I said, like before, these days, due to the development of internet, it can replace the real class instead of having um, having a class in school. Many students can have their class only just sitting tight in front of their computer, but however, there is something that we can learn from the school directly. For instance, having a manner or uh, learning about courtesy can be the good example. So I can say in the near future, due to because of the internet, a real school can be uh, existed or not existed.
Yeah. I think we'll be talking many aspects of that same question, not just on schools, but many other things as well. It's like jobs.
Mm,
I think they're already in some of the cities in probably in Korea as well, but many cities around the world, people can do home-based work. So they
home
stay at
base.
home, they just log on like I do. Like this is what I'm doing.
Mm.
It's home based. I don't have to travel to your house, and you don't have to travel to my school. We can do the education online, but you can do that with many other kinds of work. anything that involves a computer can now be done from the home. People just need maybe that you need a database, a central database, where people save their work. But really, it's good. I think that these things are going to have a huge impact that we're still struggling to understand about what difference the internet is going to make in terms of jobs, education, healthcare as well. If why should somebody who's feeling unwell have to sit in front of or travel to see a doctor or a nurse unless it's for an injection? But for a lot of what they need to talk about, they could do face to face like this on Skype or some other kind of system. So that has a huge impact then on people's lives about traveling, the requirement of having their own vehicle or using public transport. The more things that people can do from home, like shopping, the less traffic there should be. So every a lot of the questions that come up in IELTS are about reducing traffic, and actually this is one of the solutions to traffic, is that people can do far more activities online than before. So it's interesting. It's a very interesting topic. Do you think this is the question I was referring to earlier? So do you think many people waste their time online?
Yes, I believe so. Uh, surrounding surrounding me, there are many people who waste their time with their social networks services because they have already addicted, so they waste a lot of time to feel entertained, or just spend their extra time because using with the social network service, they can enjoy their spare time, really having a by having a fun.
Yeah, okay. One is in their spare time, and if it's fun and it's in their spare time, it's not necessarily a waste of time. That could be entertainment. I mean, if they're watching a movie online, it's not really any different from going to the movie house or going to the cinema or something like that, is it? It's the same activity, watching a movie. It's just that they're doing it online. But when it comes to wasting their time online, particularly at work, I think, or as you mentioned earlier on about in education, when kids are in school, they're distracted by their mobile phones, and then definitely it's a waste of time, because they should be doing another activity, but instead they're distracted and they're doing something which, in the case of a school, they're not learning something. In the case of work, they're not producing something. They're not doing the work that they're being paid for. And I think that is a particular problem, and I think it's a very difficult problem to solve. So in your workplace as a nurse, when you're nursing, do you see other nurses? Hopefully not, but do you see other nurses wasting their time online?
Yes. Uh, um, One of my coworkers, whose name is Sujin, is the person who addicted using with the smartphone, especially with 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 internet. Every time when I see her, she always bring the smartphone to use the internet, and she just access the internet, especially the neighbor app, without intention. So I always said to her, she is addicted, but she doesn't know the fact.
Right, they had an addiction.
Yeah.
Um, and I think this is not just there, and not just young people. I think a lot of people of different ages have a huge addiction, and for all the benefits that the internet brings us, I think there's a huge amount of wasted time where people should be working, and most people now, most people, I would say at least half the population uses a computer at work these days somehow or other. Most work now is not physical. Most work now is, it requires computer skills of some description. And I think as soon as people get in front of a computer, they start doing something because they can see that they can read the news if that's their addiction. They can look at Facebook or Kakao Talk or Naver or something. It's so easy to get onto those sites, and I think for businesses, it's very difficult to manage it. So another place that I worked at here in the Philippines, because a lot of I was talking about remote working, people working from home or something. Well, in the Philippines now, there are a million people, literally a million people in the Philippines are working online for American corporations or British, Australian, New Zealand, and they do the office work in this country for those countries, for those other countries. It might be banks, it might be telephone companies, it might be some kind of billing. So there's literally a million people in the Philippines doing that work here in the Philippines. But the control is very, very tight over what they can do, how much time they spend on doing things, and they're monitored very, very closely. That's in the big companies. In the small companies, the one that I was working with was a small company, and they were not allowed to take their phone into the office. They had to leave their phone outside. And we could see, and because I was part of the management, we could see how much time people were spending on Facebook, how much time they were spending on, looking at shopping, doing other things. We could see that on a weekly report. We could actually see how much time people were spending doing things on their own computer, their workstation. And so some people would have to call them in and say, okay, in your team, you're spending all of this time doing that. And they, oh, well, I wasn't busy. We can't just sit there and stare at the wall. We didn't have anything to do. And so somehow or other, businesses have to monitor and they have to try and control their staff. I mean, really, it's all money. It's all money being wasted. If you're paying people per hour, which is what people normally get paid, and they're of the 8 hours work or 9 hours work, they only spend 3 hours working, and the rest of the time they spend surfing the internet. It's very difficult. The internet is a great thing. It's also a very bad thing. So. Right. Okay. Well, the next question: what will people do with the internet in the future, and how?
Well, uh, uh, internet has already occupied a lot of parts, most of our parts of our life. So I cannot imagine how internet would be affected more than now, but I am sure that their effects would be much larger than now because in Korea these days we can see some refrigerator has a screen with uh, which is connected with the internet. So with just a few touches, some groceries or some packages that we ordered can just be delivered without going to the market or store. So with the internet, our lifestyle uh, will become much comfortable.
Is it? But okay. This is a little bit like so. It'll be convenient. It'll certainly be yes, comfortable is probably right, and also very convenient. But
Mm-hmm.
it's a little bit like what you were saying before about schools. People need social interaction. So in order for kids to actually learn social graces or manners or culture and that kind of thing, they need to be put together in one place. They need to be educated by a teacher. You don't do this, you should do that, and all this kind of thing.
Mm,
And I think the more people sit around at home just with and it's going to get, I think it's going to get worse and worse. People are going to get lazier and lazier. They'll be sitting back on their sofas like a great big fat couch potato, just clicking with a remote control, ordering their French fries or whatever else it is, never moving from. I think it's really unhealthy. I think
mm,
it is certainly convenient, and we all like to think this is a great new world that we're moving into. But I think there's a huge downside as well. When you go to the shop in the old days, your parents, before they had shopping via the internet, in a small neighborhood, they would see their friends or they would see their neighbors at the local shop,
mm,
and they would have a discussion about what's happening in the neighborhood or what's coming up, what's old, what's old. and it's part of human activity to actually discuss things. I think we're becoming more and more separated by the internet, and you see that also just when you see young people together, maybe in a shopping mall, and they might be all sitting there having food together, but all of them are sitting there looking at their phone and ignoring the other people that are sitting around them, not having any kind of conversation at all. So it's great. It's a great thing, as you said, for keeping in touch with people who are far away. Like for you, talking to your family in Busan is great because you can see them face to face, and it's almost like being there. But the people that we're sitting with, or the people that we're in the same house as, we don't talk to because we're busy talking to somebody somewhere else. So it's a strange thing. I think the internet, and as you said, that the effects that it's having on our lives, I think we don't fully realize it because it's probably only half a generation that we've had this device available, or this ability available to us. We won't really know for another 20 or 30 years what social impact that is actually going to have on human society. But it probably will be a huge impact.
I think.
So, if you found this IELTS class useful, informative, or entertaining, please give it a like, subscribe, and share with other people who you think might benefit from these live IELTS class videos using actual examination topics. Most of the students participating in these classes are now living their dream in English-speaking countries around the world. If you want classes with me, you can contact me on X, LinkedIn, MS Teams, or Viber. Details are given in the description below or on the About page for this channel. Thank you.